Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for October 5th, 2025. I do not plead the 5th on anything today, but seems like Fansways X Transpots are pleading the 5th until TFCon. But we've got news from other companies. It's magical. It's kind of square. And then we have some Masters of the Universe stuff, more stuff coming down the pipelines that we might want to look at. And then tonight we're going to cowabunga like it's 2012. Yeah, we are. I guess today? Today. We've got some more Mortal Kombat stuff, and it's classics with a K that's also very, very clever with a K. And we've got, the Force is not at all strong with Star Wars. At all, even with the other couple of stories. But let's just engage the mustache of the 80s and have some fun talking about some news coming up. Let's start with some Show Z news as usual. What's going on over there? Blitzway Carbonics Voltron. This is the Defender version. Again, I've already shared my thoughts on this, that this looks way better than what Playmates did, and I do like it. I am on the fence. It is $539.99, so this is a standard. I don't really know if they've got two, because I don't see a second one for like an upgraded one that has a whole bunch of extra stuff like they usually do. But $539, it's a bit steep, $79.99 down, but it looks way better. I kind of want it. Carbonics is Blitzway. It's the best Voltron out there for the standard one and all the different colorations, and I feel this will be the same way. 30 MDLX Thrust is up for pre-order, $10 down, $138 total, and it does look pretty cool. And if you're going for like a super G1, I don't think it would fit perfectly, but I think you could get it in there. I think the cone heads could have a little bit of stylization such as this and get away with it, but I think it looks great. Still, I'm on the fence because I'm collecting too many scales this day and age. This is coming soon, so it's processing. I believe it's processing some way, shape, or form. By the way, Show Z is going to be sort of out of pocket till the 8th, so if you ask them a question or you're expecting something to ship, it probably won't for probably the next few days. But this is Zangief. Looks really great. Storm Collectibles Street Fighter 2, and it's $180, coming in stock very soon. And I'm watching this one very closely. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick this one up. This is the Storm Collectibles Final Challengers T-Hawk. I think it looks amazing. And a 124, I would rather go with the new lower price Storm stuff, but the Storm Collectibles is top notch, absolutely. And I don't think they're going to tackle this character in their $35 price point range. All right, so Wonderfest kind of throws a monkey wrench into how I do my news, but I love Wonderfest. It's one of the best things that happens, the event. But I'm going to do a little bit of Masterpiece, then we're going to kind of go all over, back and forth. But the Rat Trap from Takara looks amazing. The pictures I saw last week, I thought, yeah, it looks good, it looks great. Close up, great lighting. This thing looks fantastic. There is enough of a shine. No, it's not like vac metal, and it's not super ultra shiny, but it gives you the look and feel of the show, which is exactly what I want out of the Masterpiece line. And I love the show. I think the show is great. So hands down, great show. But I didn't like the G1 toys. Hence why Masterpiece still is my favorite thing to collect, and I think they did a good job with this. Although we did see this last week, this is the official promotional images that it's kind of the way they like to do things nowadays. It's where they kind of show you all of this feature, everything that's going on with it, all in one take. I like this kind of stuff too because there's less pictures to have to mess with in editing, but you get to see what's going on with this. I personally think that this is a great Soundwave if you either A, don't like the fans toys, pass on the fans toys, quote unquote KOs, but they're not really KOs. Or if you don't like the first one coloration, if I could pick and choose, I'd rather have this color scheme than the one I have. In addition to the Thrust being up for pre-order at Show Z at all these places, pretty much everywhere you can get a butt, there's also Starscream, a Bumblebee version of Starscream. If you like that version of Starscream, and maybe you don't need it to transform, then this would be for you also. Looks great, both of them. I love the way they look. Just remember that 3.0 kind of runs smaller than YOLO Park if you're going with the non-transforming stuff. Let's kick off Wonderfest Shanghai here with some Takara. This is their booth, and it shows Zoids, and very nice looking booth. That would make for a great display if you were to build something like that in your own Casa La Grande. All right, a couple of great things to look at here, and this is a pretty good shot at what they got going on with their Predaking, and I really feel like everybody that talks about this thing is calling it Legends. Like, it's a Legends Predaking. I feel like it's more of a mainline Predaking size and scale, but yeah, I think it would work for. I kind of think it would work either way, both ways. It goes both ways. And then there's Nemesis Prime, which has another name that I kind of forgot. But this is one of the things that excites me the most right now is this Ultra Magnus and all it can do. And I really look forward to, probably someone somewhere has a video. I just haven't seen it yet, but look forward to seeing exactly what this can do, what it can accomplish. And as I worked so hard to complete my 2, and I did my video on it, it's kind of funny because things I get excited for seem to be getting made right now. It's fantastic, but they don't have this fully posed and showing everything you can do. And here's this guy, this is the actual Nemesis Missing Link, just like the Magnus was Missing Link. Looks great. I don't know if I've placed a pre-order for that yet, but I do want it. Probably should jump on that. And then the next Masterpiece Optimus Prime, I gotta say that I would prefer more of a A stance. Put him in an A stance so we can see what he can do or how he's turning out more than this pose. But I was initially, no, I'm not going backwards. I've got the best of the best so far, but I'm tempted now. I really am tempted because I think it looks pretty good, even though I don't like this pose. And then alt mode's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. I still think that Magic Square's a better alt mode, and yeah, it is what it is. But it still looks good. It's cool. It's kind of like a blend of different eras. And then here's another close-up on this guy. I forgot his name. I'm sure I'll find it somewhere. But I'll call it Nemesis until I get something else. And I think they did a great job with Power Master or the Genrai, God Genrai, Super Genrai, all that stuff that they're working on. They look really good. I'm very impressed with where they are going. And I kind of feel like all this still scales very well with Missing Link G1. It's their new MPG is going that route. Right, Flame Toys and the new Transformers model kits and what's coming out there, Bludgeon and Bonsai Tron and Optimus Prime from Prime. Is it Prime? Is it animated? Animated Optimus Prime. Megatron. So a lot of stuff they got going on there. I'm not really going to go super deep into what they're doing, but it looks pretty good. And if you like this stuff, then you kind of already following what's going on with it. But I will show a couple of highlights. I like showing the pictures that show most of their display. I prefer the pictures show it all. This is a really good picture of the Megatron. If you're into a Megatron, it is stylized, but it does look fantastic. In fact, the coloration of this is, I love that purple. It's great. It's almost a bit on the lavender wave kind of side of things, but still works. And then if you really like fembots and booty bumps, then here you go. They got some fembots here for you, and I think they look great. They really work. I haven't gotten any of these yet. Somebody told me it takes 2 hours to put one together, and I was like, ooh, maybe I don't want to buy that. Maybe I don't have time. And if you know me, you know I like YOLO Park. So this is what YOLO Park's got going on. I believe all this is in the AMK Pro Series line. I guess I could read it all off. Dark of the Moon Sentinel Prime, the 2007 Jazz, Optimus, Ironhide, Jazz again. Then Dark of the Moon Megatron Beast, RC, Bumblebee, Megatron, Optimus, Bumblebee, Shockwave, Blitzwing, all this stuff. So you kind of know what you're about to see. Here. But from the Bumblebee movie stuff, they're taking it on. They're going pretty hard, pretty deep on it. It's what they're revealing, which some of this stuff I haven't seen yet, so it's kind of cool. Some stuff I have, we kind of knew about, but the Shockwave looks good. Like, all of it really does look good. It really matches the source material very well, and in some ways upgrades the source material if you, I guess, want to take it like that. I do like these. You know, even though people will label me as a G1er, you know, labels and stuff, I still like these. I like the look, the aesthetic. I like the feel. I don't like putting them all together, but it is what it is. Oddly enough, Aldi is doing some killer work here, and I will say this, though. I love the painted stuff they're doing. I don't like that it's 3.5 times the price of just the standard one, and to me, it's not worth it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a 2-pack, and it's only, I don't know. I don't want to speak to any of that, but I still like that. Plus, they're going to bigger, larger scales and stuff, but they're doing fantastic work. Here we go with more stuff they're making. Grimlock, and then a Grimlock that's an actual dinosaur. Still, some of this stuff is a little bit, in my opinion, kind of pushing back against what YOLO Park did. And I gotta admit, Aldi is beating YOLO Park when it's in this scale, this little 5.5 inch or something 5-inch scale, and they look fantastic. These are really good looking figures. They're doing a great job. I just like what they got going on here, and yeah, I mean, just look at where they're going. So much new stuff, so much that they're putting out, so much that looks amazing, and it's just spot on. They don't have to transform, so you're just unlimited. This is what Red should have been. Like, Red at $20 to $25 dropped the ball at $10 each or $12 each, what it comes out to be when you buy the whole wave from Shozi, of course. TH, support your code. They're killing it at that price point. It is fantastic. And then there's a couple of other things in here that they wanted to kind of show off that I can't speak too much about the IDW. Seriously, I just am not that into the IDW lore, so I can't talk about it. I can say that a lot of the designs are very interesting. All right, let's be scatterbrained all over the place, but this is Ghost Prime's review here, but I just want to show his picture of these two ladies, and I want to point something out. I believe he has these transformed correctly, and a lot of people do not, and I've seen 4 or 5 different posts that the knees need to be fully locked all the way in, I guess pushed to the outside of the thigh properly, and I've seen that wrong in a lot of pictures, but until I get them in hand, I really can't speak to it as a first party or first hand. I'm giving you second, third hand information here, but it was a huge concern of mine when the first time I saw in-hand pictures, and I love in-hand pictures, but these look better. In true Tidarium Hanger manner, I never let anything go unmatched. I can't just show you Magic Square's version of 6-Shot, which, by the way, 6-Shot's probably in my top 10 or 12 characters of all time. I love the G1 figure. It was one of my favorite figures as a kid. I love the character. He's kind of bad as can be, sort of a Boba Fett of Transformers in a way. And then if you kind of look at all of this here, this is on the left, Magic Square, on the right, the toy version or the EX version of New Age. But this is, I've heard a couple of people talk about this past week, and I hear the same thing and I agree with them. The Magic Square bot mode looks the best. Some of the alt modes might go to New Age. This will be an interesting one. This, oh man, versus of this could be a really long video, but the New Age will give you other color options and variations and that almost vac metal look to the figure itself with some of the pieces of the New Age. But at the end of the day, I think that Magic Square is cleaner, better design, almost no paint. There's pluses and minuses. Here we are, like 6 years. Is it 6 years later? Still the exact same conversation. Precisely the same conversation. Better design for Magic Square, in my opinion. And New Age presentation is fantastic. I got them both coming. I mean, as soon as the 8th or 9th, whenever Shozy puts it up for Magic Square. I didn't see this from Wonderfest, but the Aldi, again, seeing them praises, $55 for an Optimus Prime with a bonus, Wonderfest Shanghai Convention exclusive. And then there's the limited edition crystal version. So I didn't really see those stand out. $63. So really, really, really expensive. I'm not into any of that. I'm just going to stick with, what they gave us. And the $10 or $12 each sets. But I'd love to have them. I wouldn't love to pay that price. So Shinsu Toy Box has some non-horrible pictures of Hor-E-Bull and the rest of these Monster Bot team. And this looks great. Hasbro's doing good work. I'm glad that these figures are coming out. I hate that they hide stuff like this behind a 4-pack. But you know what? This is starting to become a trend with them. And will they reissue some of this stuff? You don't know. And that's what people are saying, that whole poll for what was the best thing of the year, best figures of the year, and all that kind of stuff, was to see what to reissue. But will they ever reissue something hidden behind a 4-pack? Speaking of this, we have the Uranus Secret Toy Garden, and fantastic photography, excellent job, loving the Venom, and the one on the right here, I had as a kid, love it so much, but hidden behind a 4-pack. I would have bought 2 of this, but $72 is what it cost me, just for the one figure. I probably should have opened it and sold the rest of the other stuff off I don't care about, and just had this. So I kind of missed that boat, I guess. But will they reissue this guy? Because now the other 3 are pretty easy to get. It would make sense, but then all the people like me and other people might be like, oh, well, I had to pay $72 for this one figure. But it's kind of worth it, and if you put them up next to the vintage stuff, they blow it away. And come on, X-Transbots, where you at with these? This was a promise from 3 years ago. HasLab Omega Prime replacements in hand. First in-hand images from You Blaze Flow on member Carbomatic, Chris 291, Conley 2006, Fire Fury 91 could share in-hand images. Anyway, this is the Optimus Prime. Inner slider requires less force and moves in smoothly. So they fixed an issue here. Shouldn't everybody that got one get the fix just automatic? So I'm not sure if that's how it's going to work. I did not at all get in on this, although I thought it's a great HasLab, or a great offering. I don't know if it had to be a HasLab, should have been maybe a Pulse exclusive or something, but with that, I'm glad they're making good on this. The last time I had a problem with HasLab was a busted up figure from my Sky Striker. It was destroyed, and I had to send it back and wait 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. I got the point, I thought I was never going to get it back. I messaged him 3 times. I'm like, yeah, it's still coming. Wait a couple more months. But I'm glad this finally showed up. All right, we got the Walmart Retro. Is it Retro Deluxe Outback and Willie? So this is Outback. Obviously a rework of what they did with Braun, but it looks good. I mean, I love this line. I think it's great. Don't love it enough for $30 or whatever they're charging, but I paid $15 and $17 for the first 2 that I got, and then now here it goes and stands. These will probably be $30. Let me see if it says the price in here. 23 steps of conversion. But I like the way they look. I think they look great. And with that, we see a first time ever reveal of Willy. Hey Willy, how you doing, buddy? I really think it looks better than what they've done in the past, but there's the packaging, there's the figure, there is also the electric Energon slingshot that needs nothing else other than what looks to be like a chicken bone, a turkey bone. And here it is with the Combiner Wars. Did they call it Deluxe? No, they called it Legends. They actually called it Legends Class, which is so bold of third party to just make similar scale. And hey, it's Legends, but it is what it is. So the new one looks a lot better than what they did before. Is it perfect? No. Is it way better than before? Yes. If you have the one from before, can you just keep it in your shelf? You can do whatever you want to do. That's what collecting is. But I do want to say the previous one struggled to hold in alt mode. If you got it there and you made it look good, it looked good. If you picked it up, it fell out of it, untabbed, because it really didn't tab in place. And it was too small. Or at least that's what she said. Whoa, what's showing up? Let's get excited about this. This is showing up. Is it Target? Does this say Target? Found it Target, yep. By Zuckus. And wait, hold up. Zuckus, you collect Star Wars. What are you doing with some Transformers up in here? I understand. You just watch my intro. I understand completely. But this is that pack that hides Horrible in a horrible way behind a 4-pack, and then you might sit for the next 14 months trying to sell off the other ones to recoup your money because you had to spend however much ridiculous price it was. I'm sure this picture shows us. $89.90. What? $90? That can't be right. Hey, at least if you missed out on Wheeljack the first time, the second time, and the third time, now you've got a fourth, or hold on, let me take my shoes off. A fifth reissue, and then a Sideswipe that's very stylized. Might be the only time they make a Sideswipe that looks like this one. So with all that, that is being found in the wild by Fuse9 and Bago Foosh. George Lucas always said that things had to rhyme. They're not going to be exactly the same. They're not going to be one-to-one, but they rhyme. So I remember getting a Trypticon for $54 at Burlington. Now they're showing up at Ross. And you might ask, well, what's the price? How much is this Ross offering of a toy deco look of a Trypticon that Mike said he's not going to buy for $200? Oh, and there's the price. $99.99, half price. So kind of the other, they were like $150, so it was a third of the price, but they were $54 or something like that. And we saw those at Ollie's. That's what got my attention on Ollie's. And Ollie's has its ups and downs. Ross has its ups and downs. DD discounts absolutely sucks. But I will say this, that if I see one in person for $100, I'm going to buy it. If I don't, I'm not going to cry. It's kind of like that ARC thing. If you see an ARC, you get it. If you don't, oh well. My son's got one. All right, I'm just going to tell you, this might be the best TFCon that's ever been put on, ever. TFCon Chicago, October 24th, 26th. If you look at the date today on the 5th, I plead, not the 5th. 24th is 3 weeks away. Vince DiCola, composer. I got to tell you this, when I was working those 19-hour days and, 90-hour work weeks, and the only things I got was a $33,000 tax bill, and they said, well, you owe $6,000 more. When I would get in my car on my day off and drive out to buy someone's collection out in the boondocks, I had Vince DiCola's, the whole soundtrack playing. I loved it. I mean, it was kind of brought me back to a more simple time where, every 7 seconds I wasn't making a life-altering decision at work. And it was nice. And this really did work for me. And there's so many other guests that are amazing. And then throw this on top of it. I'm curious what he has to say in the panels. Oh yeah, and then third-party panel and what we're going to see with Fans Toys X Transbots, MMC, and Star Toys Magic Square. all that stuff. Yeah, that's exciting too. Hasbro Pulse confirms plans to attend MCM London Comic-Con in October of 2025. What does that mean? Well, they're going to talk about Marvel Legends series, Fantastic Four villain, Super Scroll, Star Wars The Black Series, Mace Windu, and Darth Sidious. Oh, those are the exclusives. Ah, Vintage Collection Jedi Spirits 3-pack again. Transformers Generations, Armada, Nemesis Prime, Air Defense, Minicon Team, and G.I. Joe Classified Pythona. Yeah, that's coming to New York Comic Con. And if you're one of the 12 lucky people on Pulse with a premium membership, and you're there the first 3 seconds, you might actually get a Pythona. Right, as much as I love Transformers news, I really kind of enjoy other news too. It's fun to talk about, but let's start with something I have no clue about. I'm clueless. Marvel Legends series, Madam Mask and Crossbones, supervillains from comics, $42 from $50. Is that a good deal? You let me know. Uneducated Marvel collector. You let me know. I do know about this, the Maximum Series Hulk. I had pre-ordered it, and I said, you know what? I mean, I'm collecting 100 vintage toy lines and modern and all this kind of stuff mixed up, and some months get really expensive into the thousands, and I'm like, $60 on a Hulk. Although I like it. I think it looks good. I don't even have one Hulk in my collection at all. Not one. And I got a friend that's got 60 Hulks in his collection. Not one Hulk in my collection. I canceled it because I thought this would happen. But you got to have a Prime membership, so yeah, $49. I still don't think that's the greatest value in the world. And then there's this $39 Gamerverse keeping. I thought it was. Oh, I think this one's expired. I think this one's over. It was 33. It's back to 40. This is a Gamerverse Kingpin. NECA Tmnt hitting other retailers. I guess this was initially NECA store exclusive. Now they're putting it out everywhere else. Walmart. Well, it says just Walmart, but is that true? Something I have no idea about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1987 cartoon, Ultimate Train Track Takedown, Shredder 7-inch scale, Con exclusive 2025, and a NECA Con exclusive in special packaging with artwork. Yeah, anyway, I don't know anything about this. Of course, it looks cool. Shredder, and let me just put this out there. I've got a bunch of different Shredders from NECA and other places. Shredder is absolutely my favorite thing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like Shredder more than the Turtles. If I were to sell everything off Turtles, I'd keep all my Shredders. It's the weird thing, which is, it almost makes you want to buy this even though I have no clue what it is. What episode it was. Now I want to show this picture with this Shredder, my favorite character. Irma. I'm hearing Irma is going to get a separate release, but I haven't found any more information about it. I heard about it. Haven't heard anything new or updated. And what I heard was like a rumor. So are we really going to get it? Because we got an April. So you see, we got the April separately in a separate April release, which was an upgraded, better one. Will Irma be an upgraded, better one? Or do you have to seek out the $150 Channel 6 news pack with all the equipment and all that to get an Irma? And yeah, I'll jump on an Irma. How to make such a bland, boring character extremely highly sought after. Just ask NECA for the playbook. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the live action movies, and I bought a couple things, and I've sold almost all of everything for live action Turtles off, except the Turtles. Now, NECA reissuing TMNT movie figures as Walmart exclusives. Weren't they Walmart exclusives in the first place? But am I wrong? Again, Turtles is not my favorite thing. I'm turtled out, but I talk about it after multiple 4-packs. They're reissuing this. So some more McFarlane stuff. McFarlane Toys is dribbling out peaks of the last couple rounding up below. Page Punchers will get new Classic Superman, 0 Hour, and the Joker from the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then the 6-inch Super Friends. Okay, this is where they've done some dirty deeds here. Now, you can get one Super Friend, which is already sold out of BBTS, and I don't really care to track it down. Then the other Super Friend, the girl, is it Jaina? Jaina. She's a GameStop exclusive. I heard she sold out instantly. And I was even talking, I know managers at all my GameStops, and they're like, do a pre-order, Mike, whatever. And I haven't even checked on it. Even the easy one to get's hard to get on these Wonder Twins. I don't get it, but if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. I won't cry about it. It is what it is. I'm kind of disappointed in this, but at the same time, I understand collecting this stuff is going to be hard to get down the road. The later McFarlane. A lot of early McFarlane stuff is probably going to be easy. This week is Walmart Collector Kombat. Listings for drops are going to be up today. Well, what is today? Today is October 2nd, according to this article. And read on, check out all this stuff. So, Multiverse Bane Glow in the Dark. A glow in the dark Bane. And then Green Lantern, Emerald Twilight, Superman Jokerized Edition, Superman Nightmare Edition, the animated series Man-Bat. Yeah, okay. And then Classic K, Reptile, and Liu Kang 2-pack. And then Classic Raiden and Classic Reptile. If you want this stuff, go for it. Walmart CollectorCon. October's all about, cooling off the weather, and I guess murdering some folks with Halloween Resurrection, Ultimate Michael Myers 7-inch scale action figure. If you like the horror, then you might like this. Isn't that William Shatner's mask turned inside out? Is that what that is? But it's available at BBTS, Entertainment Earth, Joseph Prime, Toy Geeks. This is like the 8th or 15th Michael Myers. Yo, Joe! You've got the Ghost Viper Dire, Dread, Inducing, Responsive Energy Beast. I'm not sure. Does it glow in the dark? But there's also going to be a Legends Mysterio. And we've already seen the Transformer stuff from this. But is the Mysterio just a reissue? Anyhow, let's just get into some G.I. Joe stuff. Because, it's G.I. Joe. Because only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe 788. Alright, we got the classified Hit and Run. Yeah, there it is. I was never a fan of this figure because I didn't have it as a kid, and I don't really remember Hit and Run from the show. So it is what it is. As an adult collector, and last year, this figure was kind of challenging to track down. I had to buy 2, and eventually I found like a lot that had the rest of the parts to make the second one complete. And then I've got the Project 2026. I call it Project 2026, and it's big for Joe, G.I. Joe, and that last collection I bought is going to help me out a huge amount, but I'm not talking about that till next year. Anyway, this figure looks great. It looks good, and it's way more stuff packed in than we got with the vintage figure. And I will say this, the vintage figure had a ton of stuff. It was really hard. Really hard. I'm curious how the little bag, the luggage bag, the satchel, how all that works, but does his shoes unbelt? And then we got good old Lifeline and like version 2 Mole Rat. So more stuff that's rendered up. Let's render this up for your pleasure. But Lifeline. I've always loved the Lifeline figure. I would say that if you said, Mike, you can only have a Doc or a Lifeline figure, well, I'd pick Doc and kick Lifeline to the curb. That's just the way I am. I don't know why. Doc always felt more like the Doctor than Lifeline to me. Lifeline felt more like some dude that like fly down a helicopter to help you out like a medic, but Doc is different. Anyway, at the same time, they both look great. They look fantastic. I don't know if I'd even be in on this Mole Rat. I didn't get version 1, so why do I need version 2? And I really think that Hasbro took 100% of classified collectors that were a 100% completist and dropped it to 20% completists and 80%, I'll pass. Through hard to get exclusives, multitude of repaints of the same exact figure over and over and over, and now this stupid, ridiculous nonsense about the same figure for the third time to get maybe another artwork that sucks, so you still won't get the retro figure you want, a Flint. Alright, so we got this, do they call this vintage collection version? Man-at-Arms. You know, they really, here's what they should do. It's Man-at-Arms version 4, right? Or 5, or 6. Hold on a second. Let me just go back down this. Can I find? Is there like a Yojo site that talks about Motu, and you get the versions? But it looks good. It looks fantastic. I'd have no problem buying this if I didn't already have 4 or 3 Man-at-Arms. I don't want another one, even though it looks great. So this is where Mattel is driving off their collectors, because you just keep getting more rehashes of the main characters instead of finishing anything at all. And classic collectors just laugh. I mean, seriously, classic collectors told me day one they have very little interest in what's going on with this because they've got the best of the best. And I'm like, I'm so jealous. I'm jelly because you got them for $20 or $28, whatever it was back then, shipping and all that. And I got to pay $200. But then we got this Merman, which looks okay. He looks great. Still, the Classics one is better than this. But for $20 versus $80 or whatever the Classics one goes for now, it's a tough decision. Like, do you settle for this thing, or do you go with the Classics and then the scale is different and all that? It looks good. It doesn't look great, and it doesn't match up to Classics. Why quit being negative? Well, okay, I'll be positive. The first Merman in Masterverse was hideous. It was so horrible. I bought it anyway. I've got one somewhere. I don't even know where it is. It's out of sight and out of mind. But this, I don't want to buy this. I want to, but I don't. I went ahead and paid the $80, whatever, to get a Classics one, and I'm like, I don't need this.
Big booty, but you got a big booty.
Alright, so AI somehow thinks Tila is thick. They like her thick. I don't know why. I saw an AI video from whoever this is, something drawn, and it's interesting, but our overlords, our future overlords that will take us over, like them thick. So Terminator 2 got it wrong. Not everybody's going to be a super tiny, skinny robot, but maybe the skinny robots just like their women thick. One of our full Collector Con 2025 preview, Mattel Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Vintage Collection, Tila. And we'll be up for pre-order on October 10th. So all these Vintage Collection things I'm showing are October 10th. That does not look like the AI picture I showed you. But aren't you glad you saw it? You're not? I'm not sorry. I really should have a segment where I call it this week's biggest WTF moment, and is brought to you by Mattel. This is another Walmart Collector Con Origins Deluxe Samurai He-Man action figure. Some people love this. Most won't even buy it. If you don't agree with me, just scroll through the last 8 to 12 things that were put up as exclusives on Mattel Creations that are still there. It might go on clearance in less than a month. This might be the coolest thing going on in Motu. So here's this. I don't hate Motu. I actually rather like Masters of the Universe. I like He-Man. I like a lot of the characters in He-Man. And I really wish I just had a vintage run, carded, and boxed, and didn't have to buy anything else. And the classics. But I don't have that, so I go through this. Manuel Eduardo Caritas has got pictures of the new Mattel's 2000X Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, but this stuff looks more just cartoon, less 2000X, but it looks good. I mean, He-Man, Triclops, Stratos, not bad looking. Can't wait to track these down at Ross. I'm about 40% at Ross. The rest I'll just pick up at BBTS either for $20 each or on sale. Alright, for Star Wars, what's showing up? I actually got all this together, and I'm only now that it's like in my face as a big picture, seeing the clearance on Anakin my son just bought. Oh my gosh, he paid full price. And they're showing up on clearance. That is insane. Well, we might not come across it on clearance. I won't say anything to him until we are in that point, because we're going to do a little road trip here in a bit as a family. Family fun. Can't be undone. And I gotta say, $13 for that Anakin's not bad. I'm shocked. Why is he the one on sale? Obi-Wan. I mean, he's usually the one that goes on sale. So Star Wars is adding a new category. Maybe. Rumor, speculation, but our friends at Yakface have uncovered this action verse, and it's unclear if it's another rebrand of the Epic Worlds of Action. Epic Heroes. You know, the kiddie brand, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have anything against making this stuff for kids, because that's what it really should be. These toys should be made for kids, and adults like, oh, I'll buy a kid's toy, put it in my collection, blah, blah, blah. It's great. I don't have anything against it. Basic figures, $10. Deluxe, $15. Vehicles, $20. And multi-packs, $35, which sounds like that. Which, in my opinion, should just be the overall pricing for everything. But that's not the world we live in. Now, while eggs are down 50% from their high, and I just gassed up at $2.29 a gallon, we've got something else going on here with some Star Wars. Fall Geek Out, new Target exclusive Star Wars Funko Pops. And that's really the best news this week has to offer. Let that sink in for a little bit, but don't let it sink into a landfill. Let me know what you think about this week's weekly news interview. What else is going on out there that I missed? Because I can't talk about everything. Like, subscribe, Titanium Hanger out.